Now, I covered I don't know if this was still detained at this point, but the interrogation of Hassan Piker when he came back into the US. That video posted earlier today. And I saw what's happening with Max Blumenthal. He's in Iran and he got the opportunity to visit with Professor Marandi, which I think is really awesome. I'm going to show you some of that. And now I'm wondering if he's going to face that same issue when he returns back to the US, right? I don't know. Because Hassan was coming from France. And Max is, when he comes back here, it'll be Iran, unless he goes to another country first and then comes back to the US. So I'm wondering about that. But this is awesome, you guys, because I think that this shows you need to see a different side of things. And I think a lot of times, particularly in this country, we are told one thing about Iran. And it's nice to see the pictures and the videos, right? So Max Blumenthal said, I toured Iran's aerospace park and got an inside look at the country's missile, drone, air defense, and space program and what its development means for U.S.-Iranian negotiations. So you'll see, here's some of the pictures here. This is that facility. And look at all the kids, guys. See, everybody's like smiling, and it was pretty cool that he was able to do this. And then this one here, Tehran's Pervane Friday Market. This is pretty cool too. So again, like looking at these pictures, especially if maybe you thought Iran looked a certain way, right? This looks like any event. She has a Nirvana shirt. That's interesting. This looks like an event that I would see like in Cambridge or Somerville or Boston, like on a summer day. Everybody has their tables lined up on the sidewalk and they're selling their items. Looks like something you would see here, right? And another picture here, and it looks like is pottery, maybe pottery, candles. I think those are candles that they're selling there. Yeah. I mean, I thought this was pretty cool. Yeah. So it looks like a little street, market event. Just some of the things that they shared there. Look at all of this, right? I think that people sometimes have this perception of Iran, and it's nice to see someone's experience there. And here's Professor Marandi. Listen to what they say here. This is interesting.
He was one of my commanders. He was captured in the war. He was a volunteer, and he was badly injured. And then he was freed in an exchange, a POW exchange. And then he went and had a series of operations. And he went back to war.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Eric, it says my Wi-Fi is unstable, so you got to give me a second. Okay, I don't know if Eric's there or not. Let me try this again. Okay, it's back now. Let's try it again.
He was one of my commanders. He was captured in the war. He was a volunteer, and he was badly injured. And then he was freed in an exchange, a POW exchange. And then he went and had a series of operations. And he went back to war as a volunteer, even though he was limping very badly. And once he told me, he said that, look, they torture people badly. And if anyone knows that you're the son of if they find out that you're the son of a minister, they will, the Iraqis will torture you badly. So make sure you're not captured.
So you guys see this here? There's another part that I'll show you to this as well. But I think, this says something, because I remember I saw these videos on X first, And I remember just thinking to myself that, like, how cool that Max got a chance to go over there and hang out with Professor Marandi in person, because a number of us have interviewed, right? And there is a lot of propaganda about Iran that we get from Western media. And, you know, sometimes people think one thing. I remember I used to think Iran was just all desert. Like, you know, I had my perception of what Iran was. I had my perception of, you know, what I thought Saudi Arabia was. Like, again, just very uninformed. And Iran is one of the ones that I think takes a lot of heat from the West, especially Western media. And it's nice to see, you know, this shared experience. So Max says here, I met Professor Marandi last night at Tehran's Beheshet Zara War Martyrs Cemetery. So that was the video I was just showing you. There he led me to the graves of his friends who fell in Iran's war with Iraq, including in the pivotal Karbala 5 operation, and explained the sacrifice his society has made for independence. See, these are the things I think a lot of times people just don't know about. Like, a lot of us were taught that Iran is just this evil, hateful country and they just hate America and all these types of things. And unless you go seek this information out for yourself, or unless you go visit, like, you know, Max Blumenthal was able to do, you'll just be propagandized. Like, you really have to seek out this information on your own. Yeah, really, really interesting. And then this one here, Friday night outside the Tehran Book Garden. So look at this. Is this what you pictured Iran looked like? Watch this. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Looks like something you would see here in the United States. But see, this is what corporate media doesn't want you to see. They don't want you to know about this. They want you to think that it's just this, that people are just, I guess, like living in like these holes or whatever, and they're just waiting to like attack people or whatever. No, like, look, if you ever get the opportunity to travel, guys, go see the world. If you get the opportunity, go travel, go to different countries, go see how people live in those countries. And then you'll be able to debunk some of the propaganda for yourself. And I think one of my favorite parts here, and then we'll get to the walk that he had with Professor Marandi. Even this one here, and I'll mute this one because there's music playing. But even in this video, look at this. If I didn't tell you that this was Iran, would you know that this was Iran? I mean, minus the sign there, right? Look. And minus, I guess, the license plate. But other than that, like, would you know? Look at this. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Doesn't look like what you were told it would look like, does it? Does it look like that? No. I mean, this, Sean said it looks like Boston. It kind of does, right? Like that looks like that could be part of the North End in Boston with the streets, the cobblestone streets. But look at it. So Max is basically opening a door to their world. He's showing you, hey guys, this is what Tehran looks like. And this is totally opposite from what I was told about Iran. Yeah, just look at all of this. See how they have the outdoor patios? Look at all the fresh food. I mean, you see that? Yeah. I mean, it looks beautiful to me. Shaping said, no McDonald's, Walmart, or Dunkin', they must be evil. It also looks clean. And they may have areas like that in Iran that, may not look like this, but I'm looking at the ground. I still haven't found trash on the ground yet. Do you see trash on the ground? Because I don't. Does this look scary to you? Are you afraid? Are you intimidated? Are you scared of the ketchup and the mustard bottle we just passed? No. See, this is what the US doesn't want you to see this. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, they don't want you to know about this. They don't want you to see it. It looks beautiful. And so, again, I just think this is why I want people to travel if they get the opportunity to do so. You see? But no, listen to the media will tell you this is such a scary, oh my God. Right? Now, this is Max filming. Looks like that's some type of treat there. Okay? So, do you hear anybody saying they hate America or Americans? Max is American? Do you hear any? You see what I'm saying? And they know it's not like Max goes there and they're like, oh, I think that guy is from here. Like they know. They know when they see an American, right? So look at everything. The food, the energy. So what's the problem? What's the problem, people? Lots and lots of lies that we have been told. Oh my God, I am so afraid. There's a farm stand there. Yikes, we got to get out of there. Right? So that's what they don't want you to see. This is probably my greatest part. And then we'll get to the walk with Professor Marandi. This is awesome. Check this out. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Guys, go see the world. Go see the world. Go out there and get there. So he had this conversation with Professor Marandi. You can see the rest of this on the Gray Zone, but there's one part here I did want to show you, whereas they were walking through the Martyrs Cemetery.
Reason why you developed a certain fearlessness, or some would even say reckless abandon, to confront power. A lot of people might be intimidated by a Western media presenter who's so polished and has so many talking points to throw at you. But you've been sort of a singular force from this country, and being able to overcome the propaganda. I mean, I think that's what you're known for in my country.
Oh, I don't, I don't fear them, because the worst that he could do is just, what can he do to me? He can try to humiliate me, or to, all these people have died. I have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility to do what's right.
Is that what it is? You feel a responsibility to?
Yeah, that's the only reason I do it. It's the only reason I do it. Otherwise, I'd rather go and just teach and live my life. I don't like being on television fighting with these people or being attacked or accused. It's not. I don't think you take pleasure in people antagonizing you, but you feel someone has to do it. If we don't do it, then who's going to do it?
So is it revenge in a way?
No, I think it's just defending the press, the abused, the marginalized.
For me, it was kind of revenge, confronting Blinken, because it was the only thing I could do, and I had the ability to be in the room. Yeah,
but you could just be quiet. You could just live your life.
I couldn't just live my life,
because
I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah, but exactly. So it's not just revenge. It's a principle. It's a series of principles. So you don't know all these people in Gaza.
Yeah.
You've never met 99.9. I know you've been there, but you know few of them. You can just turn away. You can condemn them and just move on.
Yeah.
But you can't. You feel you can't live with yourself, because you have a responsibility. When it came to Syria, I felt I had a responsibility.
So this part is really important, how Professor Marandi is talking about he could have just turned the other cheek, and he could have just said, like, it's sad what's happening there, but I don't have to talk about it. I could just move on. It's not happening here. I could just move on. But he said he felt like he had a responsibility. I also noticed how when they're walking down the street, like, the streets are very clean, like, and it looks pretty safe. Like, hell, I don't feel safe walking down some of the streets here in Massachusetts. Okay. Like, the propaganda about some of these countries, it is just so, if you talk to people who've been to China, I think Danny Haifong's in China right now. I think Danny Haifong said he's in China. I think he went back there. Okay. So he's been there a number of times. If go to China, watch Danny's videos of him in China. Doesn't look like what the US tells you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you talk to people who have traveled to Moscow, right? Doesn't look like what the US said. It just, come on. In Russia, they don't have like all these chemicals in their food. Like, why do you guys think people in other countries live longer than we do? They don't have all this chemicals in their food. They're not like pumping with all this, like, they're eating real food. They're active. That's another thing we can talk about, not being active, and people spend a lot of time on social media instead of going out, hanging out with people in person. That's a whole other thing. But this is important for people to see. And I know when I was growing up, I was told things about these countries. And then as I got older and I started to do my own research, I realized I'm like, yo, these countries don't look anything like what they said. I've been lied to. I've been brainwashed. And all I can tell you is just pass that on to other people, guys. Pass that on to your friends. Pass that on to your family members. There's a lot of people still in the United States who still think that Iran is evil and they want to kill all of us because of the propaganda that comes from corporate media. I'd feel safer walking down that street in Iran than I would walking down some of the streets here in Boston. Some of you might feel the same way where you live in your city. Let's continue on a little bit more.
To Iraq, when it came to Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, you and I have, and others like us, many, like those students who protest. Families of the marchers, they have special passes.
Yeah.
So they can bring in their cars.
Okay.
They're enjoying themselves. Yeah, there are lots. We can go on for hours here. The weather's nice.
I would say that much of the death that I've been confronted with, I mean, my grandfather fought in a war and is buried in a cemetery, the Arlington National Cemetery, but it has a different meaning to Americans than this does to Iranians. It doesn't have the...
Okay. So, we can go ahead and cut it there, but you guys have got to see, like, I don't know, like, you need to see these countries, and everybody can't afford to travel, and I totally get that, but we have video, right? So you can see what these countries actually look like on video. And please stop believing, if you still do, the propaganda that's coming from corporate media, because this place looks beautiful. This place, what I saw of parts of Tehran, look better than some of the cities we got here in the United States. I can't walk through one downtown without seeing trash. You know what I mean? I didn't see any trash here. So I'm glad that Max got this opportunity to go meet Professor Marandi, and you can watch the full video on a Gray Zone. There's also another video on the Gray Zone where he's touring that aerospace facility that I was telling you about, where you can watch that one in full as well. I'm wondering if he's going to face some issues when he comes back to the US, just considering like what happened to Hassan Piker, who came back here from France. Him coming back from Iran, I'm wondering if he may run into a similar situation. I don't know. But if you get the opportunity to travel, guys, should definitely travel. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that all these politicians get on a plane and they go visit Israel, but they don't go visit Iran? Why? All these politicians that got on planes to go to Israel, why they didn't go into Gaza? Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.